let's go through some lowest common multiple examples, okay? If you open up your book to page 239, page 239, look at number 41. You've got three numbers there, 45, 120, and 150. Now, in a situation like this is not one that you would want to list the multiples of and then circle the lowest common multiple. Would you? No. Let's use the other method where you factor it and use the greatest power of each factor. Okay? So make a factor tree for each one of these. Go ahead and do that. Right now, in your notes, make a factor tree for each one of these. Yep, this is in 5.1. This is part of lesson 5.1. Make a factor tree. So you can factor these pretty quickly. 5 and 9 make 45. And then 9 is made with 3 and 3. That's how you factor it, right? So this is 3 squared times 5. Everybody with me? Come on, keep going. So this is 2/3 times 3 times 5. And 150, 2 and 75. 3 and 25, 5 and 5. So this is 2 times 3 times 5 squared. Now, we have to use the greatest power of each factor. So, we look at the base of each one. Okay, we have to use 2's in our formula because there's some 2's. But do we use 2 to the third or just the 2? We use the greatest power, 2 to the third. Asa, quiet. It's enough. Not helping us learn. Okay? Now, what's the greatest power of 3, Johnny? Well, look. No, the greatest power. Which one is has the biggest exponent? Of the 3, of the base 3. Well, we use 2 to the third power because that's higher than 2 to the first power. Which one is the greatest power of 3? Look. Is it 3 squared or 3 or 3? What's the exponent for these? No, there is no exponent listed, so it's just 3 to the first power. This one is 3 to the, pay attention here, This one is 3 to the what? Second power. Okay? So we have to use that one. 3 squared. Sam, what else do we use?
Wait. 5 to the second power.
Good. The 5 to the second power is the greatest power of the 5. So this is going to make our lowest common multiple. Because we've used each of the factors. We've used 2's, we've used 3's, we've used 5's, and we use the greatest power of each one. So multiply that out. You'll probably want to use your calculator.
No, we already did it.
What is it, Asa? Oh. 1,800, right.
1,800.
That's the lowest common multiple, yes. Yep. That's why you wouldn't want to write them all out. Okay? Any other questions here on this one? Let's do one more with variables in it. Go to number 44. Number 44. Put this example in your notes. 7ab 8 a to the third b to the second and 10 a to the fourth. Okay. Well, anything to the 0 is because that's 1, right? Okay. So this is prime, isn't it? So just 1 and 7, or we're going to have to use the 7 because this is a prime number. Okay? 7 to the first power. We have to use that as one of our factors to make the multiple. A and B, we're going to have to use A and B because we have to use each factor. Let's factor this. What is this? Keep going. No, Garrett has his hand up. And, whoops, I'm sorry, not here.
And then 4 is 2 and 2.
So this is 2 to the
Third power.
The third power.
2 times 4.
Okay. And then this is Caleb. 2 and a 5, right. 2 times 5. Okay? Now, we have to use the greatest power of each factor. Jordan, what do we need to use? From this, we have to use the greatest power of each factor. So find the biggest exponents, and we have to use each factor.
So you just want like the next number?
So we have to use each number, each prime number. We have to use a 5.
Yeah.
Yep. So 5 is in our formula. The LCM, we have to use a 5. What else do we have to use?
That is 7.
We have to use the 7. So 5 times 7. What else do we have to use? Luke? We have to use 2 to the third power. Are there any other types of factors? Any other numbers that are prime numbers that are listed? 7. But we used all the prime numbers?
Yes.
Okay, good. Greatest power of each prime factor. We have to use the greatest power of each prime factor. Now, we have to use variables also. Which one have the greatest exponents, Adam? Which ones are the greatest exponents? We have to use of the variables. So A, well, what has a 2? The B, so B squared, use that, because that's higher than just the B. And B squared, and Reese, which A has the biggest power, the biggest exponent? And what does it have? Yeah, so A to the 4th power. Now we have to rewrite this because we have to put it in alphabetical order. Find the answer to this. Max? Use your calculator if you need to. Okay, go get it. Great. 280. And how do we put these in order, Trinity? How do we write the variables? Alphabetical. Good. This is the answer. Okay. 280, A to the 4th, B to the 2nd. That's the greatest power of each of the prime factors, okay? Any questions?